We continue to deal with technical difficulties here in Sioux City. I believe I've found the culprit and worked on it to get you live into the action. We come up now with 2 down after Tyler Massey flies out in foul territory. Tyson Gilly struck out after Brett Wiley doubled in the first. We see Jake Blackwood stepping into the box for the T-Bones. With a 1-0 count in a scoreless game, it's outside from Brian Assanio. Counts now 2-0. T-Bones lost last night's action, 5-1 to the Sioux City Explorers. Two outs on the top of the first with Brett Wiley on second. Assanio comes set. Jake Blackwood gets under it, sends it out to left field. Robinson still retreating, brings it in on the track for the third and final out. Kansas City gets a runner on a hit, and they strand him at second thanks to a strikeout and 2 flyouts. We're scoreless through half an inning here at Lewis and Clark Park in Sioux City on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning, the experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
When the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. This is Sam King with the scoreless game through half an inning. Kansas City picked up a hit in the top of the first thanks to a double from Brett Wiley. Today's lineup for Sioux City goes like this. Derek Robinson leading off, followed by Michael Lang, Nate Sampson, Levon Washington, Tim Caldwell, Ralph Enriquez, Tom Mendonca, Eno Patron, and Brian Johns rounding things off. Derek Robinson steps in against the right-handed pitching Josh Hodges. First pitch from Hodges is fouled off. Counts no balls, 1 strike. Hodges was originally drafted in the 7th round by the Tampa Bay Rays out of high school in 2009. That's low. Counts now even at 1. Hodges enters today's action 3-6 with a 4.60 ERA. The 1-1 is inside on the breaking ball, 2-0. 2-1, I should say. Hodges was a midseason acquisition from the Joplin Blasters. And during that road trip to Joplin and Lincoln, or actually it would be Joplin and Laredo, during that week, Josh Hodges had been named the American Association Point Streak Pitcher of the Week for his stellar performance. The 3-1 now to Robinson as Hodges fires at home. It's low, and Hodges walks the first batter, Derek Robinson, to get things going. And that brings up Michael Lang. Lang went 0 for 4 in last night's action, but did score one of Sioux City's 5 in that T-Bones loss. Sioux City wearing their all whites today with the red lettering and the script writing on the front. Kansas City wearing their all grays with the ox blood lettering, the black outline, and black hats. Around the diamond, the T-Bones are set up like this. Jimmy Mojica at third, Vladimir Frias at short, Brett Wiley at second, Jake Blackwood at first. Outfield left to right goes Tyson Gillies, Tyler Massey, and Dalton Wheat. Steve Swingle will do the catching for Hodges. Hodges checks on the runner first. He dives back safely. Key for Josh Hodges today is to keep the ball low, throw a lot of first pitch strikes, establish his sinker, and then once that sinker is established, go for the ring up with the slider. Lang tries to lay down a bunt, puts it high in the air. Blackwood brings it in around the first base coach's box. And Michael Lang, instead of trying to put down a bunt, looked like he was trying to hit a single in the right field by bunting it there. That's one out. Runner still on first. Game still scoreless. That brings up Nate Sampson, who went 1 for 4 in last night's action. Sampson enters this at-bat with a 342 average and 275 at-bats. He's got 5 home runs and 49 RBIs as Hodges picks off Robinson on first. Second time that Robinson has been picked off in this series. And that's a huge second out for the right-hander from Mississippi. They get the runner on thanks to a walk to get things going, but now that's meaningless as he's picked off by Hodges. First pitch to Sampson is lined out to left field. Gilly still retreating. It came in initially, but brings it in on the warning track for the third out. 3 up, 3 down for Josh Hodges. We're scoreless through 1 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network on this birthday edition of T-Bones Baseball. And when I say birthday edition, I mean it is my birthday, my 21st. The big 2-1. Never thought it'd happen. Wouldn't want to spend it anywhere else than annoying the listeners about T-Bones Baseball here at the ballpark at Lewis and Clark Park. Anthony Gallup steps in to lead things off in the second. T-Bones have 1 hit thanks to a Brett Wiley double in the first. Game still scoreless. Gallus tried to send that ball to Dallas on the first pitch, but comes up empty. No balls, 1 strike. Last night, Anthony Gallus went 0 for 4, which dropped his average to 191 with 11 home runs and 30 RBIs. 1-1 count now to Gallus. Elsewhere in the American Association, on this Saturday at Sioux Falls Stadium, they're in the bottom of the second between Texas and Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls leads 1-0. That's in the zone. 1-2 to Gallus. At U.S. Steel Yard, Gary is playing at Winnipeg. Lewis and Clark Park, we're here. At Haymarket Park, Wichita, Lincoln, UN Trade Stadium, and Laredo, the Joplin Blasters will visit the Lemurs. Gallus sends it out to right field. Runner still on the warning track, brings it in. Had to reach up and bring it in, but he does. That ball was smacked opposite field, just not enough to leave the ballpark for the first out. Gallus kind of having a look on his face like, what more do I really need to do for the ball to leave the park? That brings up Jimmy Mojica. Mojica, recently acquired by the T-Bones, has played in a number of games for Kansas City this season, mostly at home. He's been around this league as well. First pitch to Mojica's in the inner half, called strike, no balls, 1 strike. The final game, before I can get it in now, is that CHS Field, Fargo Moorhead is playing at St. Paul. The 0-1 in the dirt, counts now 1-1. So far this season, Insano is 3-3 with an 8.34 ERA. All 8 of his appearances have been starts. And in 41 innings pitched, he struck out 28 while walking 20. Last time out was a 2-3 loss to Sioux Falls on July 30th. Breaking ball finds the zone, counts now 1-2. He went 4 2/3 innings, giving up 2 runs. They were both earned with 7 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Last time he saw Kansas City threw 90 pitches in 3 innings in the T-Bones win on July 8th. Count is now 2-2. In that game, he went to 3 innings, giving up 6 runs. They were all earned with 7 hits, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. The 90 pitches through 3, I told some of the guys before the game about that to refresh their memory. They kind of got giddy and knew immediately that they were going to see some pitches to hit. The 2-2. Jimmy Mojica fouls it back. Count remains even at 2. Kansas City enters today's action on a 7-game losing streak. So they look to turn things around here in early August. The 2-2 was 1 out. Ring him up, looking a fastball at the letters for the second out. That brings up Dalton Wheat. Dalton Wheat's currently riding an 11-game hitting streak as he steps into the box to get things going with 2 outs here in the top of the second in this scoreless matchup. Last night, Wheat went 1 for 4. That one was just enough to extend the streak. First pitch to Wheat is low. Counts 1-0. Dalton Wheat swings and misses. The count's now even at 1. Wheat with the work gloves, looking to make something happen with 2 outs in the second. The 1-1. Breaking ball that he sits back on, but too far back, comes up empty. The count is now 1-2. Infield, outfield playing straight up against Wheat, the rookie out of Emporia State University. Wheat ground ball to second, takes a weird hop, but Johns handles it and fires it to first for the 3rd out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down for the T-Bones, as now 6 straight have been retired. We're still scoreless through 1.5 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Sam King coming to you from Lewis and Clark Park in Sioux City, Iowa. Levon Washington will get things started here in the bottom of the second off T-Bone starter Josh Hodges. First pitch from Hodges is high, 1-0. Last night, Washington went 2 for 5, picking up an RBI. Levon Washington fouls it off. Counts now even at 1. Washington comes into this action with a 9-game hitting streak, picking up a hit in all of his time with Sioux City except for his debut game. And on the season, his stats reflect that. He's currently batting .436 and 39 at-bats. He's got 17 hits with 5 runs scored, no home runs, and 6 RBIs. He fouls that up and out of play, and now he's behind 1-2. Clouds were hanging around before the game began, but it looks like they're clearing off, at least over the field of play. It's a good sign to get this game moving along. Hodges comes and steps with the 1-2 and fires home. It's high and away. Might have wanted to chase on that one. The count's now even at 2. Pitching coach Bill Zobe told me before the game, really stressed it before the game, that Hodges needs to stay away from these full counts. And here comes the 2-2. And there is the full count, as now he has to work around Washington, the dangerous former first-round pick by the Cleveland Indians. Kansas City comes into this action. 29-41 as the 3-2 is sent out to center field. Massey charging, brings it in on a basket catch for the first out. A loud first out here in Sioux City. Tim Caldwell steps on now. They had jersey giveaway date for Caldwell last night, and it appears to have gotten in his head as he went 0 for 5. He did hit a home run in the first game of this series. In the first game, the T-Bones were dismantled, and that's the way I'm putting it delicately, 11-4, losing last night's action 5-1. Dropped 2 of the first 2 of this 4-game series. First pitch strike to Caldwell's in there. We're still scoreless with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Hodges steps. Mojica creeping in on the grass. It's high and away. And the count's now even at 1. Caldwell sends it up to left field. Gillies charging, making a jumping catch for the second out, as that one must have snuck up on him enough, but he makes it look pretty for the quick out number 2. Now that brings up Ralph Henriquez, who in last night's action was very effective, going 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored. Lineup not really changing here in Sioux City. So I look for one exception. Having a hard time finding it. First pitch to Henriquez is low, and the count's now 1-0. On the season, he's got 4 home runs and 35 RBIs with 32 runs scored while batting .235. Next pitch is low, 2-0. Henriquez wanted to go for it. Bat barely leaves his shoulder, but he wanted it. 2-0 nonetheless. Hodges steps and fires with the 2-0. Breaking ball in the outer half called strike. Counts now 2-1. Nice night here in Sioux City. At first pitch, it's at 79 degrees with limited cloud cover. A relatively dead wind as that's sent through the gap at third for the 2-out single. Ralph Henriquez gets on with 2 down. Josh Hodges did allow a base runner in the first inning on a walk to Derek Robinson, but then he picked him off at first. That brings up Tommy Mendonça, who hurt the T-Bones and hurt him bad last night as he went 1-for-3 with a run scored and 2 RBIs. Those 2 RBIs coming on a 2-run home run. Mendonça fouls the first pitch back. No balls, 1 strike. Mendonça batting left-handed, Hodges throwing right-handed. Runner on first, 2 down in this scoreless game. The 0-1, breaking ball that buckles his knees. No balls, 2 strikes. It's blocked by Swingle to keep the runner on first. Tyler Moore got the start behind the dish for Kansas City last night. The rookie for Kansas State didn't truly bring it with his bat, going 0-for-3 and is eventually pitch hit for. But talking to John Mazzarelli about rookie catchers just in general, or rookie players even, is that every rookie has that transition period where they have to adjust to professional hitting. He obviously has the tools with a very successful career at Kansas State University and Coffeyville Community College. The 0-2 is high, 1-2. But he does have high praise for Tyler Moore's defensive skills. He calls a great game. He's a great receiver. He's got a pretty nice arm. Granted, there were 3 stolen bases against him last night, but it's not like any of them weren't close plays. Swingle sets up inside. The 1-2 is just high, and it counts now even at 2. Outfield playing slightly off the lines. Infield shifted over slightly towards the right against left-handed hitting Mendonça. Hodges checks on the runner at first. He got the pick off in the first. Looking to get that again with the 2-2 count and 2 outs in the scoreless game. Here comes the 2-2. Mendonça sends that to left field, but it's foul. And we'll remain here even at 2. Kansas City returns home after this 4-game series that concludes tomorrow for the 7-game homestand against the Lincoln Salt Dogs and Laredo Lemurs. The 2-2, Mendonça strikes him out. For the 3rd and final, Josh Hodges taking care of Mendonça. As Sioux City gets 1 hit, they strand that man on base. 2 flyouts and a strikeout. Keep the game scoreless through 2 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. Providence Medical Group has offices in Bonner Springs, Basehor, Tonganoxie, Lansing, Leavenworth, and KCK. That's why we're the go-to community hospital in the region. If you're a T-Bones fan, count on the medical team that takes care of your team. The Great Doctors of Providence Medical Center, just east of the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Learn more at providencekc.com.
Heathwood Oil Company was the first independently owned oil company in Kansas City, and they're now one of the oldest continuously family-owned oil companies in the Midwest, featuring Citgo lubricants. With a current bulk storage capacity of over 250,000 gallons, they have the products you need. Let Heathwood and Citgo design a Citgo lubricants program to reduce cost and increase production. Call 913-321-1764 or email sales@heathwoodoil.com. Heathwood and Citgo, your lubrication specialist since 1926.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning, the experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Steve Swingle will get things going. This is Sam King coming to you from Lewis and Clark Park in Sioux City. First pitch from Insonio. Swingle is outside, 1-0. It's time to start thinking about the playoffs. American Association having their 4-team playoff. So the wild card standings becoming ever important, as that's low and inside to Swingle. Counts now 2-0. Winnipeg currently holding the wild card lead. They're 2 games ahead of Laredo's. Winnipeg's been on a 6-game winning streak. That also includes the T-Bones. So they're 40-29. Laredo 2 games back is 39-32. As Swingle comes up empty. Funky looking play. It's a 3-0. Kansas City at 29-41. It's currently 11 and a half games back in the wild card. Called strike on the inner half to the left-handed hitting Swingle. Counts now 3-1. Steve Swingle swings that one above the letters and comes up empty. That draws the count full. No one out. In this scoreless game in the third, 1 hit by each team. The payoff pitch is fouled off by Swingle to stay alive. Steve Swingle making 3 separate stops during his collegiate career. Originally playing JUCO ball at Mesa Community College in Mesa, Arizona. He was a Thunderbird in the ACCAC as he fouls that off and stays alive to keep the count full. He then made his way up north to Grand Canyon University, spent some time there, and then finally found himself in Oklahoma at Cameron University, and now look at him in a Kansas City T-Bones uniform, getting the start tonight behind the dish. Kansas City's had a revolving door at catcher, I guess you could say, but Steve Swingle has been the constant as he lines that into the just waiting glove of Eno Patron at first, as that ball was absolutely lasered and tattooed at him. Better play by Patron for the first out. I don't think that ball could have been hit any harder had it been on a tee. Vladimir Frias steps in now, batting 9th today. Last night, Frias found himself going 2 for 4. First pitch is a breaking ball in the inner half. 1-0. The 1-0. Frias sends it out to center field. Caldwell brings it in after ranging to his right and back just a little bit for the second out. That brings the top of the order, Brett Wiley, back up. Brett Wiley had that fantastic month of June. Actually, July. I don't know what I'm thinking. Things did cool off for him. In his last 10, he's batting .273 with 4 runs scored. In his last 5, we're looking at .250 with a run scored. First pitch to Wiley is low, 1-0. Brett Wiley, being a longtime member of the St. Louis Cardinals organization, spent some time in AAA Memphis last season. Wiley fouls that off, stays in the box with him. Counts now even at 1. Wiley is second on the team with a .321 batting average. He does have almost double the at-bats than Dalton Wheat does, who's sitting at first with 237. He's got 34 runs scored that could be coupled with that as well. 5 home runs and 30 RBIs with 25 walks. Sees a lot of pitches, and if he sees the ball well, it's going to be a bad day for any pitchers. That breaking ball is way outside. Counts now 2-1. Outside, 3-1. With 2 down in this scoreless game in the third. Brett Wiley currently riding a 3-game hitting streak after going 4 for 5 in last night's action. Extra base hit last night, an extra base hit in the first for him was a double. The 3-1, he comes up hacking, trying to send that out to the highway. And comes up empty, that draws the count full. On deck for Kansas City is number 2, Tyson Gillies. Both pitchers pitching fantastic today. Josh Hodges has given up a hit, but so has Asano. The payoff pitch is sent out to Johns at second, and the easiest put out of them all, the 4-3, takes care of Wiley, as the T-Bones have now had 9 straight retired. We're still scoreless through 2.5 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. We'll see the 8-9 and 1 hitters due up for Sioux City at Lewis and Clark Park. This is Sam King as Josh Hodges struck out Tom Mendonça to end the second inning. He did give up a single last inning. His first hit of the game, each team sitting at 1, but he stranded him there. First pitch to Eno Patron is in there, no balls, 1 strike. Patron did not record an at-bat in last night's action. He did come in as a defensive sub for Brennan Slattery late in the game. He did get the start also in the first game of the series. Patron rolls over and sends it to Wiley at second. The awkward hop, Wiley corrals it and sends it to Blackwood for another 4-3 putout for the first out here in the bottom of the third. Josh Hodges looking very well on the mound for the T-Bones. He's the 9-hole hitter. Brian Johns comes up for Sioux City. Johns had a multi-hit game last night, going 2 for 4. Last night's starter Jordan Cooper took the loss when he went 6 innings, giving up 11 hits, 4 runs, all of them were earned while walking 3 and striking 4 out. First pitch to Johns. Fastball right down Broadway. No balls, 1 strike. In this scoreless game with 1 out, each team sitting at 1 hit. Brian Johns having about as great of a college career as one can ever have. As he sends that to Frias at short. Frias, it eats him a bit after he already gets it. Fires it to Blackwood at first. Blackwood stretches to get the out for the quick out number 2. And that brings up Derek Robinson. Robinson walked in the first, and then he was picked off at first. Second time he's been picked off in this series. Former big leaguer, spent a lot of time with the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch, Robinson pulls it over to first, where Jake Blackwood takes it on 2 hops and takes care of it himself for the 1-2-3 inning. 4 straight retired by Josh Hodges. And through 3, we're still scoreless here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network as Tyson Gillies gets things started here in the 4th in this scoreless game. As he comes up hacking and empty on the first pitch. No balls, 1 strike. Gillies, being a left-handed hitter, has the advantage against the right-handed pitching Brian Assanio. Deal 1. Comes up empty to Gillies. No balls, 2 strikes. Gillies was a part of a trade that sent Cliff Lee from the Mariners to the Phillies. He is honored to be a part of that trade. He did love his time with the Mariners. He's quoted as saying, "They were the team that knew me. I felt comfortable with them." And that means nothing disrespectful towards the Philadelphia Phillies. 0-2. Gillies gets under and pops it up. Tailing out of play and is into the bleachers. And the count remains no balls, 2 strikes. Kansas City looking to get back on track, currently riding a 7-game losing streak. they're going to get back ahead. Tonight's the night. The 0-2, way outside. So he tried to get Gillies swinging at something foolish. Gillies does not. Counts now 1-2. Tyson Gillies is a proud member of the Pan Am Games for Canada just a few years ago. Won the gold medals. It's now 2-2 to Gillies. The 2-2 is a curveball. Counts now full. He was on that team along with Jeff Francis, a former Royal and Colorado Rocky. Kyle Lotzgar spent some time in the major leagues. Pete Orr, and the biggest name of them all, probably Pete Orr. Looking down the list, there's not just the one name that you're like, oh, that's the guy that I recognize full on as he fouls it back and stays alive with the count full. Tyson Gillies can be that big name that becomes the big guy. He played against an American team that had Albert Almora, who was a huge prospect in the Chicago Cubs, against Casey Kochman, former big league longtime first baseman, David Huff, and Jeff Bianchi. That's sent out to center field. Caldwell waiting for it to come down, squeezes it for the first out. Tyson Gillies is retired for the first out here in the fourth of this scoreless game. And brings up Tyler Massey, who was one of the guys during BP that was absolutely smashing the ball. I mean, granted, you can't look at BP and say, wow, that's going to be, he's hit a home run in BP, he's going to hit a home run in the game. You can't just say that. But I do like to think that it's at least a good show as he lays that down on a bunt down the third base line. He's got speed, no throw over. He beats it out with a one-out infield single on the bunt. Couldn't have been more perfect from Tyler Massey. And that brings up Jake Blackwood, the big-time run producer on this team. The runner on first and one down. Game still scoreless in the fourth. Jake Blackwood, the right-handed hitter, did pick up an RBI last night. He has 3 RBIs in this series so far. First pitch is outside, 1-0. On June 8th, Jake Blackwood reached 500 career runs. Just proved that he's had a fantastic baseball career. Next pitch is actually not a pitch. It's a pickoff attempt. Massey's back safely. Jake Blackwood played his college ball in Kansas City, and then became a part of the Florida Marlins organization as he fouls it off into the glove of the catcher. Just a foul ball. The count's even at 1. Infield at double play depth. Outfield playing straight up. Tyler Massey dives back safely. Jake Blackwood has spent 1 season of American Association ball away from Kansas City, and that was in 2014 with Winnipeg. He was traded back to Kansas City in the offseason in exchange for relief pitcher Patrick Mincy. The 1-1, Massey runs. Henriquez comes up firing. Close play, gets past the shortstop. Massey's slide takes out Sampson, but Tyler Massey picks up the stolen base to put a runner in scoring position, and that gives Tyler Massey the lead on the team with 14. Him and Vladimir Frias are tied at 13, but now the lead is solely to Massey. 2-1 is the count to Blackwood. Blackwood is the Kansas City native. He's playing first base a large amount for Kansas City this season. Played a lot of third base and second base during his time in the independent ranks. Double play no longer in order with 1 out, and they scoreless game with a 2-1. Next pitch is a fastball in the outer half, called strike. And the count is even at 2. Nasanio comes set, righty versus righty, 2-2 with one out. Jake Blackwood sends it out to the third baseman, who takes it on a hop. So a home run swing just got on top of the ball. The 5-3 put out for the second out. Massey retreats back to second base, so he'll still be on there for Anthony Gallus with 2 downs in this scoreless game. Kansas City has a scoring opportunity here. The second scoring opportunity they've had in this game since Brett Wiley doubled to get things started in this game in the first inning. First pitch from Asanio coming up to Gallus. Blocked by Henriquez on the breaking ball. The count's now 1-0. One and 0, 2 outs, runner on second, game scoreless here in the fourth. Asanio working slow. If you've ever listened to one of my broadcasts, you know the one thing in this world that I hate the most is a pitcher that works slowly. So don't expect me to say too many nice things about Brian Asanio. Asanio finally comes set. The 1-0 fires home. Inside, but called strike to Gallus. Gallus doesn't like it. Count's now even at 1. Gallus still not fully believing that that was in there. Ryan Asanio coming set. Righty versus righty. The runner on second, 1-1. Fires home. Gallus rolls it over to third. Third baseman reined into his left and fires it over to first for the third and final out. Kansas City gets a hit, but they strand him, and we're still scoreless through 3.5 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I do apologize for the technical difficulties. They had to shut the internet off here in Sioux City. Never heard of anything like that. But we pick up action with Tim Colwell up with 1-2 count, 2 outs, and the runner on second. Colwell is 0 for 1 so far in today's action. The 1-2, just outside. That evens the count at 2. Hodges wanted it, doesn't get it. To me, it appeared just a bit outside. I have to agree with the home plate umpire, as much as I don't want to. Josh Hodges allowed a single to Michael Lang to lead things off in the fourth. He was thrown out on the 4-6, which allowed Nate Sampson to stay on the fielder's choice. Sampson then stole second base, his 23rd of the season, and that's how we got to this point after Levon Washington struck out swinging. The runner on second, 2 outs, and double deuces all around, 2 balls, 2 strikes in this scoreless game in the bottom of the fourth. The 2-2 from Hodges. Colwell sends it into center field. They're going to send the runner. Tyler Massey getting the loop. Charges, fires to Frias at second. The run scores. Tim Colwell picks up the RBI single to put the T-Bones behind 1-0 here in the bottom of the fourth with 2 down. Ralph Henriquez steps in now. Henriquez had the lone hit before this inning when he singled in the second. He is 1 for 1 today. He comes on now with a runner on first and 2 down. Sioux City now leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. Righty versus lefty, Henriquez being the lefty. First pitch from Hodges is fouled off the mask of Swingle. No balls, 1 strike. Been just a wonderful day. Technical difficulties on our part with our equipment, and then technical difficulties in Sioux City with them turning off the internet. Do apologize if that's been causing problems for your listening experience. I'm sure any other problem would have to be my voice. 0-1 from Henriquez, and 2 down. Runner on first. Hodges checks on the runner at first. He's back standing. Had a small lead. Sure that call came from Swingle to throw over. Sun beginning to set here in Sioux City. The wind is still relatively dead. Hodges checks on the runner. He's back easily. T-Bones trailing 1-0 after Tim Calla, who's currently on first, and an RBI single. Last at bat to score Nate Sampson from second. Hodges comes set with the 0-1. Henriquez gets under it and sends it out to left field. Gilly's still retreating. He's on the warning track and brings it in for the 3rd out. But not before Sioux City picks up 2 hits, 1. Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Still experiencing technical difficulties. Hopefully they're ironed out now as the internet was off once again. Thankfully we didn't miss too much other than a Jimmy Mojica double to lead things off here in the top of the 5th. No one out. Mojica still on second. 0-1 count to Dalton Weed as he fouls the bunt attempt back. Next pitch is outside and the count's even at 1. Tying run on second. Infield playing normal except for third base. Creeping in. It's 2-1. Mendonca on the line on third. Creeping into the grass. Knowing that Dalton Wheat's going to lay down a bunt. Wheat has speed where he can beat it out to first. But his main job is just to put the runner on third. Next pitch is outside. He checks a swing. He does not go. Counts 3-1. Sioux City faithful not happy. I don't have an angle. Can't have an opinion. 3-1 count to Dalton Wheat. His main job is just to move Jimmy Mojica over. Mojica stands on second thanks to the leadoff double as the T-Bones trail 1-0. The 3-1. Outside, and that walks Dalton Wheat, putting speed on the bases in the way of Jimmy Mojica and Dalton Wheat. Steve Swingle steps in now, 0 for 1 today, but with runners on first and second, the go-ahead run on first as the T-Bones trail 1-0. Still no one out. Corner infielder sticking in as Swingle lays down a bunt down perfectly next to the mound. The throw gets him, but Swingle does his job and advances both runners to second and third. The 1-3 sacrifice. Mendonca charged from third. Pitcher came off the mound. Really, that's the third baseman's ball. Pitcher still recorded the out. Mendonca had to have some words and say, hey, man, you got to let me get that. As Vladimir Frias comes on now with the tying run on third with one out, the go-ahead run on second. T-Bone's trailing 1-0 here on the top of the fifth. First pitch to Frias is high, 1-0. Middle infield playing back. Third base creeping in. First base staying about normal. Infield straight up. One ball, no strikes, one out for Frias. Fastball that's in there on the inner half, called strike. That evens the count at 1. Vladimir Frias put some dirt on his hands. I'm sure that's more of just a tactic to freeze Brian Escanio. Runners on second and third, one out. Here comes the 1-1. It's high to Frias, 2-1. Anything to the outfield could score Mojica. Mojica not necessarily a slow runner. He's got enough wheels where he can make things interesting. Two balls, one strike, one out. Runners on second and third. Vladimir Frias sitting at 25 RBIs. He's looking to put one more on that tally, maybe 2 or 3 more as he sends it out to right field. Lang still going back. That's going to be deep enough to score Mojica. Mojica tags up. They're going for third where Wheat's going. Throws wide. Wheat would have been in there anyways. The run scores. Dalton Wheat's on third. Vladimir Frias with the sac fly RBI to right field to tie the game at 1. That brings up the top of the order, Brett Wiley. Wiley is 1 for 2 today. He doubled in the first, but was ultimately stranded there at second. Righty versus lefty, Brett Wiley being the lefty. Who better up in this situation with a go-ahead run on third with 2 down and the game tied at 1. 3 hits apiece for each team. First pitch to Wiley. High and outside, 1-0. Right-handed Escanio fires home. Wiley sends that to second. Ranging to his right, Wiley still thrown out for the 4-3. But not before Kansas City gets a run back and ties the game at 1 on 1 hit. Mojica coming around to score after he doubled to get things started. We're tied at 1 through 4.5 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
Heathwood Oil Company was the first independently owned oil company in Kansas City, and they're now one of the oldest continuously family-owned oil companies in the Midwest, featuring Citgo lubricants. With a current bulk storage capacity of over 250,000 gallons, they have the products you need. Let Heathwood and Citgo design a Citgo lubricants program to reduce cost and increase production. Call 913-321-1764 or email sales@heathwoodoil.com. Heathwood and Citgo, your lubrication specialist since 1926.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. This is Sam King coming to you from Sioux City, Iowa, as we get set to be in the bottom of the fifth. The game tied at 1. We see Tommy Mendonca leading off for Sioux City. First pitch to Mendonca's in the dirt, 1-0. So we bring you this day in baseball history for August 6th. So that's in there, and the count's even at 1. Clear back in 1890. On August 6th, Cy Young made his major league debut and is credited with the win when the Cleveland Spiders beat the Colts in Chicago's West Side Park 8-1. During his 22-year career, the 23-year-old right-hander found himself averaging more than 23 victories per season en route to a major league record of 511 victories, a mark believed by many to be unbreakable. The 2-1 misses. Now it's 3-1 to Mendonca. Cy Young, of course, having such a magnificent career that they named the best pitcher in each division and in baseball after him as the Cy Young Award. Kansas City Royals had one a few years ago that won that by the name of Zach Greinke as Mendonca walks to get things going here in the fifth. That brings up Eno Patron with the runner on first. And no one out. Mojica creeping up on the grass. Patron being the 8-hole hitter, you'd have to think a bunt could be in order here. Mendonca does have 2 stolen bases on the season. Has some form of speed as Patron does not show bunt. Fouls the first pitch back. No balls, 1 strike. On this date in 1999, actually, let's start with this one. On this date in 1993, Tony Gwynn Jr. raised his batting average to .348 and collected his 2,000th career base hit. With a single off Colorado hurler, Bruce Ruffin in the team's 6-2 victory at Jack Murphy Stadium. Mr. Padre, as Tony Gwynn was known, will reach the 3,000 hit milestone on the same date in 1999. Counts 1-1 to Patron. Let's go to 1999. After San Diego outfielder Tony Gwynn singles off of Expo rookie right-hander Dan Smith in the first inning to get his 3,000th hit. First base umpire Kerwin Danley, Gwynn's college teammate. Vendela Gwynn, his mother, celebrating her 64th birthday. And 13,540 Olympic Stadium fans helped celebrate the right fielder's milestone. Mr. Padre finishes the night going 4 for 5, passing Roberto Clemente into 21st place on the all-time career hit list. 2-1 to Patron. The 2-1, Patron swings it high at the letters and comes up empty to even the count at 2. On this date in 2010, in a 15-minute pregame ceremony delayed by rain at Turner Field, the Braves retire Tom Glavine's uniform number 47. The southpaw, who won 244 of his 305 career victories with the organization, including 5 seasons with 20 or more wins, was inducted into the team's Hall of Fame earlier in the day at a luncheon. What a heck of a beginning to a game as Patron pops that in the air. Tailing foul. Appears like it's going to stay in play, and it's out of play. Count remains 2-2. Last night I talked about Nolan Ryan, how it was the anniversary of Robin Ventura charging the mound against him, but on this date in 1992, following a brief shouting match with Willie Wilson in the previous frame after the Oakland outfielder had tripled off him, Rangers right-hander Nolan Ryan hits him on the leg with a pitch with 2 outs in the 8th inning. The incident that causes a 10-minute delay with both benches emptying and fans littering the field with paper will result in a future Hall of Famer being ejected from a game for the first and only time during his 27-year Major League career. Patron sends it out to left field. That drops. Then we go station to station. Runners on first and second with no one out. Josh Hodges allowing the first two batters of this inning to get on base. Brian Johns, the 9-hole hitter, coming up. You would have to believe that he's going to be laying down a bunt. Jimmy Mojica sure thinks so. Oh, well in on the grass. On this date in 1972. Hitting his 660th and 661st career homers, Hank Aaron breaks Yankee legend Babe Ruth's record for most home runs with one team. Hammer and Hank's second homer of the day is a 10th inning blast, which enables the Braves to beat the Reds 4-3. High counts 1-0. Swingle came up throwing, looking for something to happen, holds on to it, and rightfully so. Hank Aaron set that home run record today. Barry Bonds broke that record in August. Some of you are going to disagree with Barry Bonds being the home run king, and you have that right. Personally, I'm a big Barry Bonds fan, and I might have just lost some viewers by saying that. Hammer and Hank's record still impressive. Johns comes up swinging, pops that straight in the air. Looking at if it's going to go in the dugout, lands on top of the dugout. Down the third base line. John stays alive with the count even now at 1. On this date in 1973, and I promise this is the final one, Roberto Clemente becomes the first Latin-born player to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. The late Pirates outfielder who has died tragically on New Year's Eve in a crash that was carrying relief supplies to the victims of the earthquake in Nicaragua was elected posthumously when the mandatory 5-year waiting period was waived. A lot of interesting things happen on this date in baseball history. I sure hope you enjoyed it. In my opinion, the most important thing that happened on this day in history was my birth. I'm probably the only one that thinks that. 1-2 count to Brian Johns. Shows bunt, pulls it back, it's in the dirt. Counts now 2-2. Johns trying to lay down a bunt with 2 strikes. Mostly speaks to how much his manager trusts him. I mean, yes, you would like to get your guys moving over, but with 2 strikes, I mean, you know the rule, foul ball, that's strike 3. Third baseman keeping up in the grass. Now scoots back. Johns goes around. He didn't want to, but he does on that breaking ball for a big first out from Josh Hodges. Strike 3. So now with 1 out, we see the top of the order, Derek Robinson. Robinson is 0 for 1 today. Grounding out to first in the third. Runner still on first and second, 1 down. Game tied at 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Toward the top of the order, Derek Robinson, the left-handed hitter, facing the right-handed pitcher Hodges. First pitch is a cutter on the inside, 1-0. Hodges currently sitting at 65 pitches through 4 1/3. Though 1-0. Breaking ball that just touches the zone and evens the count at 1. The 1-1. Robinson rolls it over and foul down the first baseline. 1-2. Talking to Bill Sobey. If you've ever had a full conversation with him, and he is an awesome person. I've got to love Sobes. He's got a way of thinking about pitchers, and it really puts things in perspective. He always tells me Right when the pitcher gets to 70 pitches, that's when he should be settled in. Josh Hodges has had a fantastic day, only giving him 1 run. Granted, runners are on first and second, 1 out. This might be his time to shine. Robinson steps out. Robinson, the veteran, spent nearly a full season with the Cincinnati Reds. Knows how to toy with a pitcher's mind. Josh Hodges, former 7th round draft pick, may know how to just defend against that. The 1-2, Robinson sends it back up the middle. Hodges kicks it to Frias. Frias, 6-3 double play, takes care of business as Josh Hodges helps himself out there and works out of trouble. There was a runner in scoring position. That's no longer a thing. Game still tied at 1 through 5 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy. At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Game still tied at 1 as we get set to begin the 6th. Tyson Gillies will lead things off for Kansas City. Kansas City sitting at 3 hits, Sioux City 4. Each team tied at 1. First pitch to Gillies is outside, 1-0. Josh Hodges worked out of trouble. Last half inning, they did surrender a run in the 4th, but in the bottom of the 5th, they had runners on first and second, and Hodges kicked the ball to Frias to start the 1-6-3 double play for the second and third out as Gillies swings and misses and evens the count at 1. Scania sitting at 78 pitches as Gillies fouls it off. One-two count, no one down. Infield guarding the lines. Gillies swings and comes up empty for the first out. Goes down swinging on 4 pitches. Third strikeout of the day for Osanio as Tyler Massey steps in. Massey is 1 for 2 today. First pitch is a called strike. No balls, 1 strike. Massey picked up his hit in the 4th on a single where he was ultimately stranded at first. One out in the 6th. Osanio comes set and fires. Breaking ball outside. The count's even at 1 with the bases empty, and the T-Bones and the Explorers tied at 1. 7 hits combined, 3 of those for the T-Bones. Pitch in the dirt. Makes it 2-1 to Massey. Massey, the all-around 5-tool type player that really any team needs playing center field. He's got plenty of speed, plenty of pop to his bat, and he gets on at a regular clip. And if you've seen him with his glove, you know what I'm talking about when I say that he has just an absolutely fantastic arm and glove. Scania not liking what he's seeing from his catcher, steps off the mound. Tyler Massey steps back in at the count 2-1, no one on and one out. The 2-1, Massey bloops it into center field. He's on to the one-out single, his second hit of the game. Takes the aggressive turnaround first and returns back to put a runner on for Jake Blackwood. Jake Blackwood is 0 for 2 today with a flyout and a ground out. He already has 3 RBIs through 2 games in this series. He'll look to pick up another one. The go-ahead run is on first with 1 out. The game tied at 1 here in the 6th. Scotty taking his time, comes set and fires. Jake Black with a big hack. Comes up empty on that fastball. No balls, 1 strike. Jake Black with his 55 RBIs. That leads the team. He looks to push that lead even further. Tyler Massey can run on first as he leads the team in stolen bases with 14. He did pick up a stolen base in the 4th. Hit coming into today, him and Vladimir Frias were tied with team leads with 13 apiece in stolen bases. Kansas City doesn't run that often. In contrast to Sioux City. Kansas City now has 55 stolen bases on the season. Really put that in perspective, Sioux City has 111. Hey, check on Massey at first. He dives back safely. Another throw to first. Massey still back safely. With no balls, 1 strike, Nate Sampson will come in and talk, pick up the rosin bag, and exchange some quick words with his pitcher. With 1 down and the game tied at 1 here in the 6th. Jake Blackwood at the plate. Earned the reputation throughout the league over his time as a professional baseball player, as a run producer. This year's no different. 36 runs scored of his own, 55 RBIs, and 12 home runs. The 0-1. Blackwood fouls it off into the glove. No balls, 2 strikes. Sanio comes set. Each freezing themselves. Umpire calls time. Jake Blackwood played his college ball at Maple Woods Community College in Kansas City. Informed me last night that his father was in the military, in the Navy, to be more specific. The 0-2, Blackwood sends it high in the air and into foul territory, out of play. Count remains, no balls, 2 strikes. Spent some time living in San Diego. Then oddly enough, the San Diego Padres organization did pick him up. He reached AA with them in 2012 and 2013. His best year with the Padres came in 2013, where he batted .259 and 478 at-bats. Scored 53 runs. This is 124 out of 124 hits. 7 of them were home runs. 61 were RBIs. No balls, 2 strikes for the former American Association MVP in 2013. Righty versus righty. Estanio steps off to keep Massey honest on first. Jake Blackwood has been drafted twice in his lifetime. Being drafted by the Mets in the 40th round in 2005 and the Florida Marlins in the 16th. Massey runs, but Blackwood fouls it off. When he was drafted by the Marlins in the 16th round in 2006, out of Maple Woods, he decided he'd go ahead and sign, spending his first professional season at Low A, Jamestown. And the Marlins affiliate. During his 267 at-bats during his rookie season of minor league ball, picked up 2 home runs and 32 RBIs. Easily his best season came in 2010, Kansas City, when they were still in the Northern League. He batted .331 as Blackwood sends it in just foul down the third baseline as it curves and looks like when I hit a golf ball, curving out of play. Blackwood stays alive, 0-2. Jake Blackwood with the 0-2 count has worked Ascani out of 5 pitches. There is action in Sioux City's bullpen. Appears to be number 20, P.J. Francescan. Throw to first. Tyler Massey in a pickle. First baseman, shortstop. Shortstop pitcher. Massey retreating. Ascanio lays the tag after Massey goes down. They'll call it the 1-3-6-1 caught stealing. You know how traditional that is. Count still 0-2 to Jake Blackwood. The only difference is the runner is no longer on and there's 2 outs, but the game is still tied at 1 here in the top of the 6th. Righty versus righty. Here comes the 6th pitch of the AB. It's high and inside to Blackwood. Counts now 1-2. Francescan has some pitches to play with. Blackwood doing a fine job of fouling pitches off in this at-bat. He fouled off 3 straight before that ball. And with that, you really need to go out of the zone or high and inside to back him off, and they just went high and inside. Jake Blackwood, the veteran hitter, I should say, knows what's coming. Blackwood fouls it off, remains alive at 1-2. It wasn't too bad of a mix-up when I said Jake Blackwood is a veteran pitcher, when I obviously meant hitter. He does have a pitching appearance with Kansas City this season. Clear back on June 11th, where he went 1 inning, gave up 5 runs. Don't worry, though, only 4 were earned with 5 hits. T-Bones lost that game 3-15 to the Blasters at home. But this game tied at 1-2, 2 outs. Jake Blackwood comes up swinging an empty for the 3rd and final out. 2 strikeouts, 1 hit, 1 caught stealing. That's how the inning goes. Kansas City and Sioux City tied at 1 through 5.5 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Sioux City and Kansas City currently tied at 1 as we head to the home half of the 6th. Kansas City picked up their run in the 5th inning. Thanks to a sac fly RBI from Vladimir Frias that scored Jimmy Mojica. Sioux City picked up their run in the 4th. What was a very long inning. Nate Sampson reached on a fielder's choice, and he was brought home in an RBI single from Tim Colwell. Ever since then, both pitchers have been throwing shutout baseball. Game tied at 1. Josh Hodges so far has gone 5 innings, 4 hits, that 1 run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. First batter he'll face is Michael Lang. Lang is 1 for 2 today. First pitch to Lang is high and inside, 1-0. Lang swings and comes up empty, and that evens the count now at 1. Michael Lang picked up a hit in the 4th inning, but then he was thrown out on the 4-6. That allowed Nate Sampson to reach on the fielder's choice. The 1-1. Low and away. Counts now 2-1. Hodges just throws his 72nd pitch of the game here in the 6th inning. An efficient day for Hodges with the game tied at 1. 4 hits apiece for each team. The 3-1 to Michael Lang. Lang pops it straight back and out of the park over my head. That draws the count full. Kansas City looking to get back on their winning ways as they hope to break a 7-game losing streak that they're currently riding that started in Winnipeg. The payoff pitch. Lang sends out to right field, way out of play. Will remain full. The payoff pitch once again from Hodges. Breaking ball inside that walks Lang to lead things off here in the 6th. It's the 3rd walk for Josh Hodges, and that opens the door for Nate Sampson, who's 0 for 2 today with a run scored. He also has a stolen base to his name. He reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th and came around to score. Nate Sampson, known as the dangerous hitter around the league, and rightfully so, as he's 3rd in the league in hitting, batting .342 with his 5 home runs and 49 RBIs. Hodges checks on the runner at first. Lang's back standing. Hodges takes his time, then checks on the runner. He's back again. Nate Sampson loves to hit the fastball. He'll ambush a pitcher. His one knock is that he's over-aggressive on the off speeds. Josh Hodges has that slider. That could do the trick. Runner goes. Sampson sends it down the right field line. Somehow stays fair. Blackwood will step on first for the first out. Off of Nate Sampson's hands. Sends it into the grass where it dies and doesn't go foul. And thankfully so for the first out. Runner on second as Levon Washington steps on. Washington is 0 for 2 today, striking out last time we saw him in the 4th. Comes on now with the runner on second and 1 out with the game tied at 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Washington has the go-ahead run on second. He's currently running a 9-game hitting streak that's in jeopardy as he's 0 for 2 so far. The one note on Levon Washington is that he loves the fastball. Josh Hodges has a filthy sinker. Hopefully that's enough to keep him off balance. First pitch to Washington, I should say, is high, 1-0. Michael Lang has plenty of speed on second. We saw him steal third last night, which was his 21st stolen base of the season. That all happened in the same inning when he also picked up his 20th stolen base when he stole second and stole third. One ball, no strikes, and 1 out. Righty versus lefty, Levon Washington being the lefty. Hodges comes set and fires home. Breaking ball in there. No ball is now even at 1. Hodges really needs to establish his sinker. Then once that sinker's established, you better watch out. That backdoor slider is going to get you. The count even at 1 and 1 out. Washington fouls it off into the suites. 1-2. Game tied at 1, each team with 4 hits. One and 2. 1 out. Runner on second. Hodges steps off to check on Lang at second. Lang is a guy that you should be afraid of on the base paths. 21 steals. Kansas City knows what he brings to the plate. Like I said last night, he even stole third. Swingle sets up outside for the 1-2. Washington pulls it down the first base line and just foul. He'll remain alive at the count 1-2. Levon Washington, originally first-round draft pick by the Tampa Bay Rays in 2009, turned it down, spent a year in junior college ball in Marianna, Florida at Chipola College, the same college that produced Vladimir Frias. He was then drafted in the second round by the Indians in 2010. 60-yard dash, he came in at 6:21, which was the fastest time that season. Always known as having an outfield arm. The entry of his ball coming out of high school was a 92 mile an hour. 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Washington. Injuries plagued him throughout his career. When he came out in 2009, he was ranked as the number 38 overall prospect, former first-round draft pick. The 2-2 is outside and blocked by Swingle. That draws the count full. On deck for Sioux City is number 4, Tim Colwell. Payoff pitch with 1 out. Washington goes down swinging. Swingle throws it to first to retire him. We've seen multiple hitters reach first on drop third strikes. Swingle taking care of business there for the second out. Second strikeout of the game for Washington. Tim Colwell steps in now with the runner on second and 2 down. Colwell's 1 for 2 today with the RBI that drove home Sioux City's lone run with the game tied at 1 here in the bottom half of the 6th. Colwell has played all 3 professional seasons in Sioux City. First pitch from Caldwell is low, 1-0. Caldwell's a product of North Dakota State University in Fargo, North Dakota. He's still 24 years old. His best season in Sioux City was his rookie year in 2014. In 228 at-bats, he scored 46 runs and batted .307 with 1 home run and 34 RBIs. Last season, he was 1 stolen base shy of 30, and he'll send that down to first, where Jake Blackwood will take care of it himself for the 3rd time today. That's the 3rd and final out. Sioux City gets a runner on a leadoff walk, but he's stranded on second, and we're still tied at 1 through 6 complete here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. We're tied at 1 heading to the 7th. As Asanio is still out there and starts Anthony Gallus off with the breaking ball. It's a called strike on the inner half. No balls, 1 strike. Gallus enters this at bat 0 for 2 today as he looks to get back on track. Righty versus righty. Here comes the 0-1. Gallus sends it out to third base. East Mendonça up, but he recovers quickly and fires to first to take care of Gallus for the first out here in the 7th. That brings up Jimmy Mojica. Mojica is 1 for 2 today. He doubled in the 5th and then came around to score thanks to Vladimir Frias, a sac fly RBI. That scored the lone T-Bones run today with the game tied at 1. Here in the 7th with 1 out. First pitch to Mojica. Breaking ball high and inside, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch is a breaking ball in the outer half, called strike. Mojica not a fan. That evens the count at 1. Sanio just threw pitch 96. Here comes 97. Mojica grounds that to a diving Mendonça. Mendonça, strong throw to first, gets him. Tip your cap. Diving play to his left, fires to first, takes care of him for the second out. Sure, that would be the play of the game. And what's been a pitcher's duel to this point. Dalton Wheat steps in now for the T-Bones. Wheat's 11-game hitting streak is in jeopardy. Here in the top of the 7th with 2 down, the game tied at 1. Wheat is 0 for 1 today. He walked last time we saw him in the 5th. First pitch to Wheat is outside, 1-0. I get asked all the time about Dalton Wheat's work gloves situation. If you've ever seen him play, he takes two just regular golden work gloves up to the plate, goes to work with them. The 1-0 is inside, 2-0. I heard conflicting stories, so I finally asked him. Said he was hitting one day, his batting gloves just weren't doing it. He had blisters. Preferred not to hit with his hands, so he just ran to his truck and picked out the first two gloves he could find. Little did he know, that'd be the biggest storyline he brings to the plate. Wheat fouls that off. Counts now 2-1. That means no disrespect to Dalton Wheat. So very, very fine ball player, the rookie out of Emporia State. It's always just an interesting thing that happens. When the ball player does something out of the norm, such as wearing work gloves to the plate, it's always a storyline. Left-handed Wheat against the right-handed Asanya, the 2-1. In the dirt. Counts now 3-1. Asanya not happy with what happened there, yelling a certain expletive as soon as the pitch was delivered. Three balls, one strike, and two outs. PJ Franciscan has been up in the Sioux City bullpen for a while now. That's strictly due to Asanyo's pitch count, the 3-1. Wheat fouls it back and draws the count full. On deck for the T-Bones is number 14, Steve Swingle. The payoff pitch with two down. Wheat fouls it back to stay alive. Sanyo sitting at 103 pitches, but with two down. If Wheat gets on, I'm sure he'll get the plug. He gets him out, fine and dandy, but this is probably the final time we see Sanyo. Three and two, two outs. Game tied at 1 here in the 7th. Infield guarding the lines. Wheat fouls it off the catcher and still stays alive. Dalton Wheat, the fine at bat. Staying alive, fouling off pitches, seeing pitches, taking a few strikes. Talked to Dave Schaub, the hitting coach for Kansas City. Said, well, I kind of said, so what if throwing a few hypotheticals out there, what if a batter steps up there, sees 8 pitches, and strikes out swinging? What do you classify that as a bat? He classifies it as a strikeout. He goes, well, that's fine and dandy if they're seeing pitches, but what happens is they see a floating fastball that's right in their wheelhouse, second pitch, and just let it go by. That's what he's more thinking about. Dalton Wheat has yet to see the pitch that'd be in his wheelhouse. He's doing a fine job staying ahead. It's the 8th pitch at the AB coming up. It's outside, and that walks Wheat with two down. Steve Montgomery signaling to his bullpen. We may see the hook from Asanyo. It appears not as Steve Swingle steps in, and here comes Montgomery to give his pitcher the hook, and just like I thought, as soon as Dalton Wheat would have reached, Asanyo would have gotten the hook after him. Whether he got him out, walked him, gave up a home run. That's the final thought for Asanyo. Steve Swingle will see a right-hander coming into the game. He'll have to switch. Will stay on the left side of the switch hitter. Montgomery's still talking to Asanyo. It might be more along the lines of what can you do when he leaves him out there. So I'm assuming he's just going to let him work himself out of this. Brian Asanyo sitting at 105 pitches. The runner on first and two down. The game tied at 1 here in the 7th. Asanyo comes set to Swingle. First pitch to Swingle. He pops in the air down the third baseline. Out of play. No balls, one strike. Swingle is 0 for 1 today. He sacrificed the runners over in the 5th. And in that fifth, that's where the T-Bones scored their lone run. Sioux City scored their lone run in the fourth. And since then, each team with 4 hits and 1 run apiece. Dalton Wheat on first has plenty of speed. When he was playing in college, I asked him about it. He said, I could steal anything because nobody could throw me out. Just amazing speed. But since he's gotten up to the professional level, he's had to learn how to read the pitchers, read the catchers, read even the shortstop and the second baseman, and figure out how to get that best possible jump. He's a young player with a bright future. No doubt in my mind, the young man will find his way to affiliated ball in no time. Back to the action, 0-1 with 2 outs to Steve Swingle. Runner on first, game tied at 1 in the 7th. Swingle pops it up and tails out of play. And the count now goes, no balls, 2 strikes. It appeared that Wheat was running on that. It's probably more of a hit and run. If you get Wheat in motion, put anything in the gap, there's a chance he scores from first. Asanio comes set. The 0-2 steps off and checks on the runner at first. Umpire on top of it and calls time. No balls, 2 strikes, and 2 down. Game tied at 1. So we're here in the visiting side of the 7th. Here comes the 0-2. It's pitch out. So they thought Wheat was running. He stays at first. Counts now 1-2. You always wonder if a pitch out's a good idea when your pitcher's pitch count is at 108 pitches. And with 2 down. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. They check on Wheat at first. Wheat slides back in safely. Either way, Asanio has done a fine job on the mound for Sioux City, as Josh Hodges has for Kansas City. The 1-2 is a swing and a miss, and Swingle strikes out swinging on a ball that was in the other batter's box for the 3rd and final out. 3 up, 3 down for Kansas City. So I'm sure that's the final time we see Brian Asanio. Game tied at 7 as we head to the home half of the 7th. We'll see the 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up for Sioux City: Henriquez, Mendonça, and Patron. Game tied at 1 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Ravi Enriquez will get things started here in the bottom of the 7th. The game tied at 1. Josh Hodges, first pitch, sent out to right field, drops for Enriquez for a leadoff single. Past 3 innings, Josh Hodges is allowed a runner on to start the inning. Might be his own way of settling in as Tommy Mendonca settles into the box. Mendonca's 0 for 1 today. The strikeout in the 2nd and a walk in the 5th. First pitch from Hodges. Mendonca grounds to Wiley for the 4, 6, and 3 double play. As the leadoff single no longer matters. Eno Patron steps in now for Sioux City with 2 down after that 4-6-3 double play turned by the Kansas City defense. Patron is 1 for 2 today. He singled in the 5th, and then he was a part of a double play. He didn't ground into it, but he was the first out, and the 1-6-3 double play to end the 5th. Righty versus lefty. Hodges being the righty. First pitch from Hodges. Fastball in the outer half, called strike. No balls, 1 strike. Asking Bill Sobey before the game what he wants from Hodges, he said 7 innings. He could get that right here. The 0-1's a breaking ball that's low. The count's now even at 1. Infield shaded slightly to the right. Outfield playing straight up against Patron. Here comes the 1-2. The 1-1, I should say, actually. Now it's 1-2 as Patron swings and misses. He hoped to just take the lead with 1 swing, but comes up empty. Eno Patron is the type of pitcher you just go after. Type of hitter you go after, pardon me. The 1-2. Chops it to Wiley at second. Wiley handles the hop to Hodges for the 4-1 as Hodges just pushes Blackwood off the first base bag. Not literally, more figuratively. And that's the 3rd and final out. As the T-Bones turn a double play, the 4-6-3, and then force Patron to ground out into the 4-1. The game is tied at 1 through 7 here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning, the experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Game tied at 1 as we head to the 8th. We'll see the 9, 1, and 2 hitters due up for Kansas City: Frias, Wiley, and Gillies. New pitcher into the game for Sioux City, P.J. Francescan. That ends the day for Asania. First pitch is inside, 1-0. Asania went 7 innings, giving up 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned while walking 2 and striking out 5. His lone hiccup came in the 5th, where the T-Bones scored their lone run. The 1-0 is outside, make that 2-0. P.J. Francescan enters for Sioux City. He's currently 0-4 with a 6.53 ERA. His 11 appearances, including 1 start, had him going 20 2/3 with 18 strikeouts and 4 walks. The 2-0 from Frias gets under it and sends it high in the air and out of play, 2-1. This is the second appearance for Francescan. Made an appearance in last night's action, the game the T-Bones lost 5-1. He went 2 innings, 2 scoreless innings, allowing 2 hits while striking out 4. Spent his college ball at Trevecca University. He spent some time in the Chicago Cubs affiliate, even seen time in AAA Iowa Cubs. As Frias fouls that off to stay alive, 2-2. It was deep. It had home run capabilities, but foul. The 2-2. Frias fouls it back to stay alive, the count even at 2. And Frias fouls it off, but into the glove for the first out and the strikeout. That brings up Brett Wiley, the leadoff hitter. Wiley is 1 for 3 today with a double clear back in the first. Since then, game's been tied at 1. First pitch to Wiley is on the outer half, called strike, no balls, 1 strike. Francescan was originally a 40th round draft pick in 2011 out of Trevecca Nazarene University in Nashville. Pitched for the AA Tennessee Smokies in parts of the past 3 seasons. As Wiley fouls it off, no balls, 2 strikes. He was at one time a Southern League All-Starter for the past 2 years, actually, and his strong 2015 performance for the Smokies when he went 4-2 with a 1.69 ERA, picked up 22 saves along the way, earning the late season promotion to AAA Iowa, where he tossed 8 scoreless innings in 3 appearances. Wiley pops that straight in the air into the middle infield, shallow center. Nate Sampson brings it in on the grass for the second out. That brings up Tyson Gillies, who's 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts. Elsewhere in the American Association, Wichita playing at Lincoln. That game is currently on the top of the 9th, and Wichita leads 4-1. First pitch to Gillies. Strike 1. We have a final at Sioux Falls Stadium. The Sioux Falls Canaries fell to the Texas Air Hogs 3-2 at U.S. Steelyard. Then the bottom of the 7th, Winnipeg leads Gary 7-2. The 0-1 is outside, and that evens the count at 1. Like I said, they're at Haymarket Park in the top of the 9th. Wichita leading Lincoln 4-1. At Unitrade Stadium, the Joplin Blasters lead the Laredo Lemurs 5-4 in the bottom of the 6th. That's CHS Field. They're in the top of the 8th, where Fargo leads St. Paul 3-2. The 1-1 is inside and low. Gillies works himself ahead, 2-1. 2-1 count, 2 out. Game tied at 1 here in the 8th. Gillies fouls it off. Count's now even at 2. Two, 2 outs, double deuces. Tied at 1, Kansas City at 4 hits, Sioux City at 5. The 2-2, ring him up. Fastball in the outer half, call it in there for the 3rd and final out. 2 strikeouts for Francescan in the inning. And that's what sends the T-Bones down as they still are tied at 1 through 7.5.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Networks. We get set to begin the bottom of the 8th. The game tied at 1. We'll see the 9, 1, and 2 hitters due out for Sioux City. Johns, Robinson, and Lang. Brian Johns will get things started here for the Explorers. He's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Josh Hodges finds his way back out there for Kansas City, and rightfully so, as he's thrown 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. First pitch, fastball in the inner half, called strike, no balls, 1 strike. Here comes the 0-1 from Hodges. Breaking ball just misses, and the count's even at 1. The 1-1, Johns fouls it off, and that makes the count now 1-2. Brian Johns, coming in today, had gone 3 for 7 in this series. Make that 3 for 9. The count's 1-2 to Johns as he fouls that off. Josh Hodges has been a friendly face in Kansas City since he was traded to the T-Bones from Joplin on July 7th for Brandon Tierney. Being his 6th start, 1-2 is way inside, and that evens the count at 2. During his previous 6 starts, Hodges posted a 1-2 mark with a 3.41 ERA. He's also known, he made the Point Streak Pitcher of the Week just a couple weeks ago. The 2-2. Johns fouls it off to stay alive with the count even at 2. Still no action in the T-Bones bullpen. Hodges at 97 pitches with no one out here in the bottom of the 8th, and the game tied at 1. Here comes the 2-2. And send him down. Brian Johns goes down swinging for the first out. Hodges picks up his 5th strikeout of the game. See Derek Robinson enter the game. As we see at the top of the order for Sioux City. Robinson is 0 for 2 today. He walked in the first, but was picked off by Hodges. Since then, he's grounded out to first and grounded into a double play. That happening in the fifth. Kansas City's turned 2 double plays so far this game. They had the least amount in the American Association entering play. First pitch to Robinson with 1 out. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-0. T-Bone sitting at 4 hits. Sioux City at 5 hits. Score the same at 1 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. The 1-0 just outside. Counts 2-0. Hodges wanted it. You have to agree with the home plate umpire. It wasn't quite there. The 2-0 inside. And now Robinson has him right where he wants him with the 3-0 count. Swingle, knowing that, goes out there and talks to his quite large right-handed pitcher. When I say quite large, you may think I'm kidding, but he's 6'7", 235 pounds. Native of Mississippi, huge Ole Miss fan. Talked explicitly about that last night. Personally, not a huge fan of the SEC myself, but being from Mississippi, I can understand it. The 3-0 works himself into the count, 3-1. Fastball in the outer half. We have time from the umpire. Hodges is already in his windup. He's not happy, the home plate umpire. And that's really just dangerous towards the pitcher. When you force him to stop his delivery, Hodges is going to take a long walk around the mound. Visually not happy. And rightfully so. The batter calls time. You don't have to give it to him. I don't know if that's the case that happened there. Have to have some sympathy for the pitcher, though. The 3-1. Fastball in the outer half, called strike. That draws the count full. From 3-0 to full. Josh Hodges works himself back in with 1 out, and the game tied at 1 here in the home half of the 8th. Wind picking up. Here comes the payoff pitch with 1 out. Just outside, that walks Robinson with 1 out, putting Michael Lang up at the plate. Go ahead run on first. Fourth walk that Josh Hodges has surrendered, and that's a big one here in the bottom of the 8th. Game tied at 1. Go ahead run on first. In steps Michael Lang. Lang is 1 for 2 today. Robinson is checked on at first. He dives back safely. Back in the first, Robinson walked in a situation that was nearly similar to this. There, he obviously led off the game, so there's no outs. He comes on now with 1 out, but he was picked off in the first by Hodges. Steve Montgomery wanting a balk from Hodges. Screaming up a fit. Doesn't get what he wants. Hodges comes set. Checks on Robinson at first. Close play. Called safe. Hodges showcasing his nice pickoff move. With 1 out and the game tied at 1. First pitch to Lang is high, 1-0. Hodges knew it was as soon as he delivered, saying that's my bad. Hodges has eclipsed to 105 pitches with that first pitch to Michael Lang. A runner on first and 1 out, infield at double play depth. Hodges checks on Robinson. Robinson dives back safely. Up in the T-Bones bullpen is the lefty, Evan DeLuca, the lefty specialist, I should say. The 1-0. On the inner half, called strike. The Lang takes the whole way. Counts now even at 1. Hodges comes set. Robinson healthy lead at first. 1-1, 1 out. Hodges delivers home. Lang sends it out into shallow center. Tyler Massey getting to it quickly. Steve Montgomery holding Robinson at second. In comes Nate Sampson, who's 0 for 3 today with a run scored and a stolen base. Bill Sobey will come out and talk to Hodges, trying to calm down his pitcher from the south. Sobey's already gotten what he wants out of Hodges. He wanted 7 innings of good baseball. That's what Hodges has done. His pitch is 7 1/3 to this point. The runners on first and second are definitely his with 1 out. Got one of the better hitters in the league, Nate Sampson, coming up to the plate. Perfect time to talk to him. Granted, with Sampson being one of the better hitters in the league, he is 0 for 3 today. Hodges may be doing something that just gets him off balance. Sampson, Lang, and Robinson, who are all in play, all have plenty of speed, 20 stolen bases to each of them. Double play would be hard to turn, but with 1 out, you really need to focus on just getting the easy out. First pitch to Sampson's in the dirt, blocked by Swingle. Swingle getting to it quickly. Counts 1-0. Deep backstop here at Lewis and Clark Park in Sioux City. And what's worse is the way they set up the netting here. The net hangs in front of the concrete wall, and it hangs just far enough away from it where that ball is going to get stuck in the net. 1-0, 1 out. Sampson lines that foul and out of play and evens the count at 1 down the right field line. Sampson's scored the lone run that Sioux City has scored today. The game is tied at 1 here in the bottom of the 8th with the 1 out and runners on first and second. With the lefty DeLuca in the bullpen, you'd have to think that he's likely to come on if Levon Washington, who's on the on-deck circle and a lefty himself, comes up to hit. That's in the dirt, blocked by Swingle. 2-1 now from Hodges. The 2-1, Sampson sends it out to left field. Gillies has a cannon. He gets to it. Steve Montgomery knowing full on about his arm as Gillies has already thrown out a runner, at the plate in the first game of the series, and that'll load the bases for Levon Washington. Interesting to see what John Mazzarelli will do here with the lefty in the pin and Evan DeLuca appearing to be ready. The good news when the bases are loaded is that there is an out at every bag. Say your momentum, say you're a Jake Blackwood at first, and your momentum starts carrying you to home. You can just throw to home and get that out. Follow your momentum, make what should be a hard play easy. John Mazzarelli will make his way out of the dugout, I should say. This is likely the hook for Josh Hodges. It definitely is. Josh Hodges exits with the bases loaded and 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. We'll see the lefty Evan DeLuca coming on for Kansas City.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Evan DeLuca on to take us here in the bottom of the eighth. The bases loaded and one out. He'll face the former first-round draft pick, Levon Washington. First pitch to Washington's inside. 1-0, lefty versus lefty. No one up in the T-Bones bullpen as they expect Evan DeLuca to come in here and just limit damage. The 1-0. In the dirt, gets away from swingless at the back. That'll score a run. Both runners advance to second and third. Sioux City takes a 2-1 lead. Here in the bottom of the eighth, scoring Derek Robinson. Like I made a mention about, the backstop here. It's mostly a net. About good 8-9 inches behind that is a concrete wall, which if you know anything about netting, which what a weird thing to know anything about, you know that it's going to stop it. And it's just going to hang out there. The 2-0 to Washington. In there for a called strike, 2-1. Two balls, one strike, one out. Runners on second and third. Kansas City now trailing 2-1. Here comes the 2-1. At the letters, called strike. Count's now even at 2. The Explorers faithful not happy with that. Appeared to be in there. They don't pay me to umpire, they pay me to talk about it. Infield playing in with one out. Here comes the 2-2 from DeLuca as he comes set. Swingle setting up outside. It's way inside, nearly hits him. He gets out of the way at the last second. That draws the count full. On deck for Sioux City is number 4, Tim Colwell. DeLuca comes set with the 3-2. And fires. Washington sending it out to center field. Massey drops in front of him. Sends the ball in. Blackwood cuts it off. Run scores. Three runners on the corners now with the T-Bones trailing 3-1. Levon Washington doing what a former first-rounder should do and bringing an insurance run home. And brings up Tim Colwell. Colwell is 1 for 3 today with an RBI. His hit and RBI came in the 4th. It'll be lefty versus lefty again. Colwell being a lefty, DeLuca being a lefty. DeLuca comes set for the first pitch to Colwell. Runners on the corners. 1 out. T-Bones trailing 3-1. They check on the runner at first. Sampson had something in the back of his mind. Maybe I should go home, but he retreats back to third. DeLuca comes set, still searching for the first hit to Colwell. He fires home. Colwell showing bunt. Going to be a close play at the plate. DeLuca flips it out of his glove to Swingle. Close play. He's out at home for the second out. Evan DeLuca charging off the front of the mound. Flips it out of his glove to Swingle. And Swingle lays down the tag on Sampson for the second out. It was a gutsy move by Steve Montgomery. Just didn't happen to work out. Worked out beautifully for the T-Bones, though, as the runners are now on first and second as Tim Colwell reached on the fielder's choice. Nate Sampson has had the worst luck against Kansas City on the base pass in this series. He got hosed, and I mean hosed out of left field by Tyson Gillies in the first game. It looked like he was going to score easily at home. But Gillies, with the amazing arm that he has, shoots him down, and right there, Evan DeLuca flips it out of his glove to Swingle at home for the second out. First pitch to Ralphie Henriquez is low, 1-0. Runners on first and second. 2 down. T-Bones trailing 3-1 here in the bottom of the 8th. Sioux City scoring 2 in this inning to take that lead. Connor Overton up in the bullpen for Sioux City. Sioux City's closer, one of the better ones in the league. Could have a save opportunity. Runners go. Henriquez grounds at the third. Mojica to Blackwood to retire the side. Kansas City surrenders 2 runs thanks to 3 hits. And the T-Bones trail 3-1 through 8 innings. They have 3 more outs to pick up 2 runs or more. See the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up for Kansas City, the heart of the lineup, when we return from these quick messages from our sponsors.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn and Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn and Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
Welcome back to the Kansas City T-Bones Broadcast Network. Come up here in the top of the ninth, the T-Bones trailing 3-1 thanks to 2 runs scored by Sioux City in the bottom of the 8th. We'll see Tyler Massey, Jake Blackwood, and Anthony Gallus do up for Kansas City here in the top of the 9th. Sioux City has doubled Kansas City in the hit column. Sioux City has 8. Kansas City's 4. Kansas City still trailing 3-1. First pitch to Massey is high, 1-0. Tyler Massey enters this at bat 2 for 3 today. As the 1-0 is in there. Called strike, and the count's even at 1. Connor Overton on for Sioux City with the 1-1. Breaking ball outside. Massey goes ahead in the count now, 2-1. This is Connor Overton's 3rd season of professional baseball, first in the Independent League. He was an all-star for Sioux City as Massey fouls it off, and the count's now 2-2. Did have 1 inning pitch in the All-Star game and struck someone out while also allowing hits. So far this season for Sioux City, he's 5-0 with an 0.77 ERA in 28 appearances. He's picked up 11 saves and in 34 2/3 innings, struck out 43 while walking 11. He's only allowed 17 hits through those 34 2/3. The 2-2 is inside. The count's now full. Nearly hit Massey. Faithful here in Sioux City, not liking that for whatever reason. The count's now full. On deck for Kansas City is number 10, Jake Blackwood. This is the 2nd time that Connor Overton has pitched in this series. Pitching last night. The game the T-Bones lost 5-1. Massey fouls it off and out of play. Count remains full. In that appearance last night, he pitched 1 inning, gave up 1 hit, and struck out 2 of the 4 batters he faced. Connor Overton has not allowed an earned run since June 24th at Wichita. He did pick up the win in that contest, though, going 2 innings, giving up a run, and it was earned with 2 hits and 3 strikeouts. Last time he gave up a run, it was unearned on July 15th to Texas as Massey chops that to short. He's got speed. Shortstop ranging to his right. Likely would have been a hit anyways. That's in the shallow left. Massey charging for second, and he'll be on to lead off the inning. What should have been a routine play by Sampson puts Massey on. Massey likely to have been reaching on the single, and they do call it a single. And he advances with the ball being put in shallow left field. Tying run at the plate now for Kansas City. Turns out they're going to give Tyler Massey a double, and I'm pretty happy about that. As Jake Blackwood steps in, first pitch to Blackwood is inside, 1-0. Jake Blackwood enters that bat 0 for 3 today. So he pops that sky high and the shallow right. Brian Johns out on the grass, finds it at the last second and squeezes it for the first out. Anthony Gallus steps on now for Kansas City. Gallus is 0 for 3 with 2 of those outs being ground outs to third. He comes on now with a runner on second and 1 out. Kansas City trailing 3-1 here in the top of the ninth. They have 2 more outs to score 2 or more runs. First pitch from Overton. Gallus pops it up, just tails out of play into the expensive seats, I guess you'd say, right behind the T-Bones dugout. Counts no balls, 1 strike with 1 out. Anthony Gallus has the capabilities to tie this game with 1 swing, as he represents the tying run here in the top of the ninth. Kansas City trailing 3-1 after Sioux City picked up 2 in the bottom of the 8th. Overton comes set and fires home with the 0-1. Way inside on Gallus, just getting out of the way. That'll even the count at 1, forcing him to backpedal out of the box with the high heater. A little sweet chin music, courtesy of Connor Overton. Overton looking in for the count. Tyler Massey with a healthy leadoff second. Brian Johns biting in. Overton delivers home. Gallus smacks that foul down the right field line. He's behind. 1 ball, 2 strikes. When he come up in the top of the ninth trailing by a couple runs, what better time for the meat of your lineup? That's what Kansas City's got. Tyler Massey, Jake Blackwood, and now Anthony Gallus. Tyler Massey on second. The leadoff double and 1 out. 1-2 count. Gallus sends it out to right field. Lang gets it. Massey tags up. He's going to third. Strong throw. Just wide. Gets past him. Great block. Great backup by Overton at third. He snags it. Massey has to stay at third. Anthony Gallus smacked that ball to right field. And for the second time, he's out on a warning track. And that brings up Jimmy Mojica. Mojica scored the lone T-Bones run in the 5th inning when he doubled. He's 1 for 3 today. Comes on now, representing the tying run with Tyler Massey on third. Mojica swings it. We're tied. If he gets out, we're done. Brings Massey home, still trailing by 1. First pitch from Overton. Mojica gets under and sends it out to left field. Ball still retreating, and it's up and out of here, and we're tied here in Sioux City. Jimmy Mojica, 1 swing, first pitch, bye-bye, baby. Jimmy Mojica's first home run of the season's a big one, tying the game at 3. Connor Overton, how do you like those 2 earned runs? And now stepping in with 2 downs, and we got a brand new ball game. Tied at 3 is Dalton Wheat. Wheat is 0 for 1 today with 2 walks. Sixth hit of the game is the biggest for the T-Bones, courtesy of Jimmy Mojica. First pitch from Overton is high, 1-0. Dalton Wheat, lefty versus righty. Wheat being the lefty, 1-0. Outside, but called strike, counts even at 1. I don't have the greatest angle, can't say too much. Kansas City working their way back into this ball game thanks to Jimmy Mojica and Tyler Massey. The 1-1 is outside, 2-1 now from Overton. Not many people get to Connor Overton, but Jimmy Mojica does, and just at the right time. Kansas City's all-star closer Mark Haynes getting loose in the bullpen. Sioux City's all-star closer blows the save. As Dalton Wheat swings and comes up empty, and the count's even at 2 with 2 down. Kansas City answered Sioux City's 2 runs that they got in the bottom of the 8th with 2 of their own here in the top of the 9th to tie this game at 3. The 2-2. Breaking ball rings him up, looking as Dalton Wheat goes down to end the inning. But not before Jimmy Mojica ties things up with a 2-run home run, first pitch of the AB. And we'll go to the bottom of the 9th for Sioux City and see the 7, 8, 9 hitters, bottom of the order for Sioux City. Mendonca, Patron, and Johns due up here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Kansas City tied things up in the top of the 9th thanks to a 2-run home run by Jimmy Mojica. We're tied at 3 as Mark Haynes takes the mound for Kansas City here in the bottom of the 9th, just trying to maintain things. Kansas City's all-star closer Mark Haynes comes in after Sioux City's all-star closer Connor Overton gave up those 2 runs, the first 2 earned runs he's given up since June. First pitch strike in there from Mendonca. It did look a little low, I will admit. But I'll take that any day of the week. So far this season, Mark Haynes is 1-1 with a 3.52 ERA. In his 28 appearances, he's picked up 13 saves, and in 30 2/3, he struck out 35 while walking 20. The 0-1, Mendonca rolls over and fouls it off into the T-Bones dugout. No balls, 2 strikes. Last time out, Mark Haynes took the loss at Winnipeg on July 30th when he pitched 2/3 of an inning, giving up 3 earned runs and 2 hits while walking 4 and striking out 1. Last time he picked up a save was on July 24th at home against Winnipeg when he went 1 inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts as Mendonca swings and misses and is down on strikes for the first out. Eno Patron stepping into the box now for Sioux City. Patron is 1 for 3 today. Picked up that single in the 5th and was part of a double play. Didn't ground into it, but he was part of it. First pitch from Haynes is low, 1-0. Righty versus lefty, Haynes being the righty. At one point this season, Mark Haynes had picked up 7 straight saves out of his 7 appearances. The 1-0, Patron swings and misses. Counts now even at 1. We're tied at 3 here in the bottom of the 9th with 1 out. Count even at 1. That's high, 2-1. Even with Mark Haynes' recent struggle in his last outing, still one of the top closers in all of the American Association, and rightfully so, as he's sitting at 4th in saves with 13. The 2-1 as Haynes comes set and fires home. Just outside, and the count's now even at, it's not even, I should say, but the count's now 3-1. Got ahead of myself. Plenty of great closers in this league. Connor Overton for Sioux City also falls into that. Jeff Inman from Laredo. Mark Haynes, Frankie Reed from Wichita, Evan Reed from Lincoln, and Ryan Roadbaugh, who leads things from St. Paul. That's inside, and that walks Patron as the winning run is now on first. That brings up Brian Johns, who's 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts. Brian Johns steps in, like I said, 0 for 3 with his 2 strikeouts. The winning run on first with 1 out, game tied at 3 here in the bottom of the 9th. Haynes checks on the runner. He's back diving. Haynes comes set. And checks on the runner again, just trying to get Patron sleeping on the base pass and take away that threat. Mark Haynes doesn't walk many. That was only his 21st walk of the season. First pitch to Ryan Johns. He fouls it straight back and out of play. No balls, 1 strike. Mark Haynes' numbers were really hurt during his last outing at Winnipeg, where he walked 4 during his stretch of 7 straight saves. He did not walk anybody. That spanned from June 29th to July 14th. And then July 17th, pitched 2 innings at Joplin. Then 2 days later at Lincoln, he picked up the save. And July 24th, picked up another save. Runners checked on again, he's back safely. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Game tied at 3 here in the bottom of the 9th. The winning run on first. Mark Haynes comes set, the 0-1. Johns fouls it straight back, no balls, 2 strikes. Strikeout would be astronomical here for Mark Haynes. Haynes comes set with the 0-2. Swingle setting up outside. It's inside. That jams Johns. It's going to be in shallow right. Dalton Wheat charging and brings it in for the 2nd out. That brings the top of the order, Derek Robinson, to the plate. Robinson is 0 for 2 today with 2 walks and a run scored. He comes on now with 2 down. Game tied at 3 in the bottom of the 9th and a runner on first. Righty versus lefty, Haynes being the righty. He checks on Patron at first. Patron's back standing. Haynes comes set, fires home. First pitch to Robinson. Line right to Jake Blackwood, leaping for the 3rd out. A huge out. That ball was tattooed right down the line in right field, but a leaping Blackwood takes care of it, and we got free baseball here in Sioux City. Kansas City will see the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up. It'll be Swingle, Frias, and Wiley. And we're going to extras. Let's get ready, get set, and go here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
Heathwood Oil Company was the first independently owned oil company in Kansas City, and they're now one of the oldest continuously family-owned oil companies in the Midwest, featuring Citgo lubricants. With a current bulk storage capacity of over 250,000 gallons, they have the products you need. Let Heathwood and Citgo design a Citgo lubricants program to reduce cost and increase production. Call 913-321-1764 or email sales@heathwoodoil.com. Heathwood and Citgo, your lubrication specialist since 1926.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. We get set to begin the 10th inning with free baseball. Happy birthday to me. Derek Robinson robbed by Jake Blackwood at first. Leaping grab from the T-Bones first baseman takes care of business and opens the door for the 10th inning as Steve Swingle gets things started. Swingle is 0 for 2 today. First pitch to Swingle. He swings and comes up empty on the breaking ball. No balls, 1 strike. Connor Overton still out there for Sioux City. The 0-1 inside on the fastball, and counts now even at 1. Connor Overton pitched in the 9th, gave up 2 hits and 2 runs, thanks to Jimmy Mojica's 1 swing that brought home Tyler Massey and tied the game at 3. And that hits Swingle. That puts the go-ahead run on first with no one out. John Massey? John Massey, really. I don't know why I said John Massey. I think I was looking at Tyler Massey and thought John Massey. Well, a pinch runner in the game for Steve Swingle and the speedy Starlin Rodriguez. Starlin Rodriguez is a proven running threat in the American Association and during his time in the St. Louis Cardinals organization. Faster alternative than Steve Swingle. As now we see the 9-hole hitter Vladimir Frias up. Give the chances of Frias bunt at about 65 to 70% right now. Frias is 0 for 2 today with an RBI. First pitch, he shows bunt. It's way outside, pulls it back, 1-0. Ralphie, whatever his name is, Henriquez. There it is. Yeah, I got it. Goes out there and talks to Overton to calm him down. He's pitching a little wild, as illustrated by a ball way outside and a hit batter. 1-0 count. Over Starlin Rodriguez's career, he has 306 runs scored. As that's outside, 2-0. All we need is one more from Rodriguez. He has 24 runs scored this season. Stolen bases, he's stolen 77 of them, 9 so far for Kansas City this season. Last season, during his time with Kansas City, he stole 7. 8 combined if you look at his time with Wichita. The 2-0, Frias showing bunt, lays it down the third baseline perfectly. Rodriguez will advance to second. Mendonça tries to act like he gets it away from him. Rodriguez, been around the block a time or two, has probably seen that. Sack bunt, E5, puts Frias on. Tommy Mendonça with the veteran move. Part of me believes that he bubbled that ball on purpose. They'll give him the E5. As the top of the order, Brett Wiley steps in with no one out. Go ahead run on second. Insurance runs all around as Montgomery will come out and talk to his pitcher. He might be yanking him here. They do have a lefty up in the pin, left-handed hitting Wiley. You'd think the situation would be too perfect to yank him. Montgomery still talking to Overton. We wait for the ball to be taken if it is taken. Vladimir Frias laid down that perfect bunt in between the mound and the third baseline. Mendonça charges it, realizing that he's not going to get the speedy Frias. Appears that he's going to just bobble it on purpose and try to bait Starlin Rodriguez into going for third and then getting him out. Rodriguez doesn't bite, and it's runners on first and second. Connor Overton will stay out there with no one out. Go ahead run on second. The game tied at 3 here in the top of the 10th. No matter how this goes down, this is still one heck of a baseball game. First and second, no one out. Wiley shows bunt. It's outside, 1-0. Sioux City with some sort of a funky shift here. Nate Sampson playing where the third baseman normally would play. They actually go back to it now. Go back to what could be considered normality. Sampson just shaded over towards third. Brian Johns holding Rodriguez on second. First base. Playing it on the grass. Third base on the grass. Sampson almost right behind him. Wiley wanted to come up swinging. It's outside. 2-0. If he comes up swinging, there's a huge hole in the foregap. 2 balls, no strikes, no one out. Game tied at 3 here in the top of the 10th. Kansas City looking to cut their 7-game losing streak. Looking to take at least one in this series from Sioux City. We'll be back on tomorrow as well. It'll be a matinee game at 2 o'clock. Jared Messer will be on the mound for Kansas City. Wiley shows bunt, gets it down, but foul. Counts now 2-1. Going to be, can't really be a deep bunt with this shift that Montgomery has put on for his boys. They're exploring different opportunities. Catch what I did there. The 2-1 infield appears to go back to normal. Obviously still a bunt defense though. 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody out. Runners on first and second. Game tied at 3 here in the top of the 10th. Overton fires home. Wiley pops it straight up on the bunt. And foul into the press box. Not my part, thankfully. 2-2. Two balls, two strikes, no one out for Brett Wiley. Go ahead runner on second, insurance run on first. The dangerous hitter Wiley can open this up. The 2-2 in on Wiley. He fouls it off to stay defensive. Count remains even at 2. Infield now at double play depth, forgetting the bunt defense. Outfield playing straight up, slightly deep in right field. Overton comes set, the 2-2. It's low to Wiley, and that draws the count full. On deck for Kansas City is number 2, Tyson Gillies. Connor Overton comes set with the 7th pitch of the AB coming up. The payoff pitch. Wiley fouls it off, and he'll see another one. Runners on, first and second, no one down. Game tied at 3 here in the top of the 10th. Kansas City looking to put on a run now and then shut them down in the bottom of the 10th. Overton with the 3-2. Fires home. Wiley sends it out to deep left field. Robinson still retreating. It's off the wall. Rodriguez was still on second. They're going to send him home. The relay and the T-Bones score and take the late lead. 4-3. Brett Wiley, RBI single, brings home the go-ahead run. The T-Bones have a late 4-3 lead. Everybody else will be on first and second. Still no one down. Brett Wiley just cold-blooded here in Sioux City. And Montgomery will now come out, and that's the end of it for Connor Overton. He's still responsible for the runners on first and second. The T-Bones lead 4-3 here in the top of the 10th. Back into these messages from our sponsors here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Bases nearly full. Runners on first and second for Tyson Gillies with a new pitcher into the ball game. That new pitcher just happens to be James Walsh, a lefty out of Mechanicsville, Virginia. Still no one out. Infield and bunt defense. James Walsh wanted to do something in second. No throw. Brett Wiley brought a run home on the long RBI single. Gilly shows bunt, it's outside, 1-0. Day is not officially done for Connor Overton as he's still responsible for the runners on first and second. James Walsh is 2-2 this season. This is his first relief appearance. That's outside, 2-0. All 7 of his appearances this season have been starts. He's got an ERA of 7.16 in the record of 2-2, and in 32 2/3 innings, he struck out 23 while walking 12. So he comes on now just to limit the damage with the 2-0. Fastball in the outer half, called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Being from Mechanicsville, Virginia. Wonder if he can work on my car. Yeah, probably not. The 2-1. Gilly shows bunt, fouls it off. Counts now even at 2. Sure, Gillies has now abandoned the idea of a bunt and will be swinging away. And what's fun about Tyson Gillies is you don't know what you're going to get. Throughout his entire career, he's the leadoff guy, get on base, score runs. He did that very well, as well, matter of fact. But talking to him, he said, as I get older, I got more power. He's finding more power, and it's been illustrated this season as he has 88 at-bats and 3 home runs. A lot of extra base hits. That's high, and that draws the count full. On deck for Kansas City is number 3, Tyler Massey. Payoff pitch from Walsh. Gilly sends that out into left field. They're going to send the runner. Vladdy was told to go the whole way, but gets caught watching the ball and holds up on his own recognizance. Nonetheless, that'll load the bases for Tyler Massey. Is on. And this could be good. So far today, Tyler Massey has done a fine job at the plate, going 3 for 4 with a run scored. Comes on now, bases loaded, still no one out. Game now 4-3 in favor of the T-Bones. First pitch to Massey is a breaking ball. Called strike, no balls, 1 strike. On that Tyson Gilly single, Dave Schaub, the third base coach for Kansas City and the magnificent hitting coach, told Vladdy to go home the entire way. But Vladdy kind of took over on his own and said, no, I guess I'm not. Now base of their juice. No balls, 2 strikes to Massey, still no one out. Kansas City picked up a run thanks to Starlin Rodriguez scoring after he pinch ran for Steve Swingle, who was hit by a pitch by Connor Overton. And then Brett Wiley drove him home with an RBI single to left. That's how we got to 4-3 T-Bones in the top of the 10th. Infield playing in, the 0-2 count, no one out. Bases juiced. Massey steps out. Lefty versus lefty. Walsh and Massey each taking their own time. And Walsh steps off. Not clear on the signs that he's getting from Henriquez. In an important moment like this, can't have any second thoughts about did he call this or did he call that. Had to be on the same page, pitcher and catcher. Kansas City was trailing 3-1 after Sioux City scored 2 in the bottom of the 8th, but they answered in the top of the 9th with 2 of their own thanks to Jimmy Mojica's 2-run home run. Scored the go-ahead run here in the top of the 10th as Tyler Massey fouls it off down the left field line. Count still, no balls, 2 strikes. Still bases loaded, no one out. T-Bones leading 4-3. Henriquez gets the chalk on his finger, so it's easier to see. Tyson Gillies on first, Brett Wiley on second, and Vladimir Frias on third. The 0-2 is outside. It's a good pitch from Walsh. Counts now 1-2. It's one that he's wanted him to chase on with the 0-2 count. That dangerous hitter like Massey, who's seeing the ball well tonight. 3 for 4 with the run scored. I don't blame him for trying to bait him. That's baseball. Counts 1-2. Here comes Walsh. Same spot. Still a pretty good pitch. Better job by Massey to hold off on it. And then counts now even at 2. Walsh comes set with the 2-2. Enriquez setting up outside. Ring him up. Fastball in the outer half. It's in there. Massey not disagreeing too much for the first out. And that gives Jake Blackwood now a bases loaded opportunity. Blackwood is 0 for 4 today. He has 3 RBIs so far in this series. He can add 4 more with 1 swing. Right now we're looking for that 1 more with the bases loaded and 1 down. T-Bones leading 4-3 in the top of the 10th. First pitch from Walsh. On the outer half, called strike. No balls, 1 strike. That Jimmy Mojica home run in the top of the 9th. That tied the game at 3 and was the exact definition of clutch. Was his first of the season. Infield at double play depth. The 0-1, 1 out. Lefty versus righty. Blackwood has the advantage being the righty. Defensive swing the whole way. Fouls it off. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Wind's blowing in slightly now from center field. Right to left. But in. That makes any sense. So straight in from right center, I guess, makes more sense. Bases loaded, 1 out, no balls, 2 strikes. T-Bones leading 4-3. Top of the 10th as Jake Blackwood steps out. To clear his mind. Blackwood, a big-time mental hitter. He always tries to think, what's this pitcher going to give me? For the most part in his career, he's been correct. Henriquez comes out to talk to Walsh, each having a hard time getting on the same page with each other. The funny thing is, last night in the hotel, Jake Blackwood and I were playing MLB The Show, the popular video game played on PlayStation 3 or 4, or whatever. Not a nerd. But he created a road to the show where you make your own career throughout minor league baseball and Major League Baseball. And he started in Double-A, and it was just an absolute strikeout machine, and it was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen because he's over there trying to guess pitches. And he's guessing fastball in, first pitch. So it's fastball in every time. The guy might throw him a curveball in the outer half, and he just goes, this is so not realistic. Now that he gets back to realistic baseball, and he's looking to drive in some runs with the 0-2 and 1 out. Enriquez sets up outside. It's way outside, and the count's now 1-2. He tried to get Blackwood to fish at something, and he does not. Base is still loaded and still 1 out. T-Bone still leading by 1, 4-3 here in the top of the 10th. So we've hit 10:30. Here comes Walsh with the 1-2. Blackwood sends it up the middle. Past a diving Johns. 1 run scores. They send a second home. Throw to home is too short. 2 runs score. And Gillies is back safely at second. Jake Blackwood brings in 2 to put the T-Bones ahead. 6-3 here in the top of the 10th. Still no one out. And the seats are clearing. Oh, there is 1 out in the inning, pardon me. I forget minor details. Anthony Gallus steps in now with runners on first and second and 1 down, and the T-Bones leading 6-3. First pitch strike is in there to Gallus. No balls, 1 strike. So far today, Anthony Gallus is 0 for 4. 2 flyouts to right field and 2 ground outs to third. No balls, 1 strike. High to Gallus. That's at the letters. Would have brought that a little more over the plate. We're talking donger. Anthony Gallus holding off on it, rightfully so. 1-1 count, 1 out. Walsh comes set. Gillies toying with him at second. Gallus sends it out to center field. Colwell ranging to his left. They'll squeeze that for the second out. Gillies faking like he's going for it. Veteran knows what to do in these situations. Jimmy Mojica will step in now for Kansas City. He's also the hero of the day, going 2 for 4, 2 runs scored, and 2 ribbies. Those 2 ribbies and 1 of those runs scored came in the top of the 9th when he launched his first home run of the season over the left field wall to tie the game at 3. And since then, his teammates have helped him with 3 more as the T-Bones lead 6-3 with 2 outs here in the top of the 10th. Runners on first and second. First pitch is inside to Mojica. Counts now 1 ball, no strikes. Wind blowing right to left for the right-handed hitting Mojica. Strike at the letters. Counts now 1-2 with 2 down. Look at that. I got something wrong again. Counts even at 1. Hate to create habits, but that's one that's been following me since I was in diapers. Being wrong. Low 1-1. Strike at the letters as well. Mojica not a fan. Counts now 1-2. 2 down. Runners on first and second. T-Bones leading 6-3 here in the top of the 10th with 3 runs scored in the 10th. 2 in the 9th. 5 runs combined in the last 2 innings. That is winning baseball. Game's not over yet. Baseball is a weird sport. Anything can happen. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on first and second for Mojica as Walsh, comes set. Gillies runs. Mojica fouls it off. And stays live, 1-2. Jimmy Mojica played his college ball at Kansas City, Kansas Community College, and you'll never guess where, but Kansas City, Kansas. He's had 2 separate stints with affiliated ball, one time with the Milwaukee and another time with Seattle. That's high, 2-2. Since 2010, he's been playing in independent baseball, starting out in 2010 with Kansas City when he batted .281 with 8 home runs and 43 RBIs with 56 runs scored. Last season, he played for Laredo and only had 61 at-bats with 5 RBIs. Mojica rounds that foul and stays alive, 2-2. So that's Mojica's first home run since 2014 when he played with Grand Prairie. And in those 317 at-bats, he only had 2 home runs with 25 RBIs and 58 runs scored. Granted, home runs are not going to be his game. And why should they be? His game is to get on and score. Has 505 career runs scored. Ring him up looking for the 3rd and final out. Kansas City strands 2 on. Mojica still talking to the home plate umpire. They're still going at it, but Kansas City scores 3 here in the top of the 10th and go ahead 6-3. We'll go to the bottom half of the 10th. See Mark Haynes possibly staying on for Kansas City. That's all I can make sense of, and there he goes. Mark Haynes looking to come in and shut things down in the bottom of the 10th for Sioux City. We'll see the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for the Explorers, Lang, Sampson, and Washington, here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Kansas City scored 5 in the 9th and the 10th combined, 3 in the top of the 10th to put them ahead 6-3 here in extra innings. We'll see the 2, 3, 4 hitters for Sioux City. Michael Lang leading things off for the Explorers. So far today, Lang is 2 for 3 with a run scored. The tying run is in the hole for the Explorers. Mark Haynes still out there for Kansas City. In Mark Haynes' other inning of work, picked up 1 strikeout, 1 walk, then 2 flyouts, including a line out to Jake Blackwood that was absolutely screaming at him. They leaped to grab it, and it couldn't have been more clutch. First pitch strike is in there to Lang. No balls, 1 strike. Haynes comes set, steps in, fires. Breaking ball misses somewhere. Don't ask me where. Counts even at 1. John Mazzarelli also trying to figure out where that missed. That curveball looked perfect. Tyler Moore in the game now to catch for Steve Swingle, who was pinch run for by Starlin Rodriguez. That's high and inside. It's now 2-1 to Lang. Here comes the 2-1 from Haynes. Swing and a miss. Michael Lang trying to make something happen with that swing. comes up empty, and now the count's even at 2. The 2-2 to Lang. Lang swings and send him down for the first out. Michael Lang going down on strikes to get things started here in the 10th for the Sioux City Explorers. That brings up Nate Sampson, who is 1 for 4 today with a run scored. He is one of the top hitters in the league. Infield guarding the lines down the third baseline. Outfield playing straight up, maybe a little deeper than normal, but for the most part, straight up. Righty versus righty, first pitch to Sampson. In the dirt, 1-0. Kansas City leading 6-3 thanks to 3 runs scored in the 10th, 2 in the top of the 9th. Kansas City's got something cooking with Mark Haynes on the mound in the bottom of the 9th and 1 out. Haynes comes set and fires the 1-0. Inside to Sampson. Sampson now ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Haynes comes set once again. 2-0 as Tyler Moore sets up outside. Breaking ball in the outer half, called strike this time. Now 2-1. Great pitch from Haynes. Here comes the 2-1. It's high. Counts now 3-1. Tying run in the hole for the Explorers. Haynes comes set, fires, delivers. Sampson thought it was going to be in there anyways. It's already walking out of the box before the ball was even to Tyler Moore. Umpire calls a strike. You're going to show an umpire up like that, you better be darn sure it's going to be a ball. Counts now full. On deck for Sioux City's number 3, Levon Washington. Here comes a payoff pitch from Haynes with 1 out. It's high, and that time Sampson does walk. Nate Sampson on with 1 down here in the bottom of the 10th. Second walk given up by Haynes. As Levon Washington finds his way into the box. Washington struck out twice. He's 1 for 4, including an RBI single in the 8th. He is 1 for 4 today with no runs and 1 RBI. First pitch to Washington. Good low pitch called strike. No balls, 1 strike. 1 out, runner on first. T-Bone's leading 6-3 here in the home half of the 10th. Picked up 3 runs in the top of the 10th. Those are huge right now. The 0-1. Washington fouls it back. Counts now 0-2. Mark Haynes is the type of pitcher you only need to give him one run. He can make something happen that. You give him 3, good luck. Haynes wants a new ball from the home plate umpire. He gets it. The righty versus lefty, Levon Washington being the lefty. No balls, 2 strikes, runner on first, 1 out. T-Bone's leading by 3, 6-3. Mark Haynes comes set. Infield at double play depth. Haynes checks on the runner first. He's back sliding. Haynes with the 0-2 is high and outside, and that's now 1-2 as he tried to get Levon Washington to swing at something that's not in his zone. Washington not biting. One, two, one out, runner on first. Haynes steps off. A huge moment in this game. Tries to collect himself. Haynes comes set with the 1-2. Takes his time getting the sign. Trying to freeze the runner. Fires home. The 1-2. Levon Washington sit down. Almost literally for the second out. He swung. Fell back on his heels. Almost hit the ground. That's strike three. Second strikeout of the inning. Second out. That brings up Tim Caldwell with 2 down. A runner on first. T-Bones leading by 3 here in the bottom of the 10th. So far today, Caldwell's 1 for 4 with an RBI. Crowd has thinned out a large amount, which is expected in an extra innings game, especially when that team, your home team, gives up 3 in the top half of the inning. Tim Caldwell sends it out to right field. Dalton Wheat on the warning track squeezes it for the third and final out, and the T-Bones win 6-3 in the third game in this 4-game series and ends the losing streak at 7. Thanks to some clutch hitting, some good pitching, and just overall a good time. And we might have something coming up right here at third base with some jawing. The benches are cleared. We might have some times coming up. Tyson Gillies and Nate Sampson exchanging words. Kansas City still comes out victorious, 6-3. We'll be back shortly with the full postgame here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Welcome back to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Tension still high here in Sioux City. Sioux City refusing to leave the dugout. Kansas City comes out victorious nonetheless, 6-3. As both teams are really still in the dugouts. This might get interesting after hours. In an extra inning victory for Kansas City, Mark Haynes picked up the win, making him 2-1 on the season. Taking the loss, the rare loss for Sioux City, Connor Overton. 5-1. He picks up his first loss of the season. And the year that had been stellar, he has this one hiccup of the year, and it comes at the right time for Kansas City. Kansas City scores 2 in the top of the 9th, thanks to Jimmy Mojica's 2-run home run that's tied the game at 3. And then in the 10th, Kansas City, can't really say right words at some point, scored 3, 2 of those being insurance runs to give the T-Bones the 6-3 victory. And finally, in that 7-game losing streak, and maybe turn a new leaf. This victory makes Kansas City 30-41 on the season. Sioux City drops back down to 500 at 36-36. Be back here tomorrow at 2 o'clock p.m. Jared Messer picking up the start for Kansas City. Ryan Sanyo was the scheduled starter for Sioux City. I would assume maybe Bubba Maxwell will get the start for Sioux City tomorrow, as he was the scheduled starter for today, but was scratched due to food poisoning, sickness, illness. Yeah, that type of stuff. The fun stuff. Top hitter today for Kansas City. Got to give it to at least 4 guys. Jimmy Mohican went 2 for 5 with 2 runs, scored and 2 RBIs, including that 2-run home run in the 9th. Jake Blackwood went 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs that came in the 10th to add the insurance runs. Tyler Massey went 3 for 5 with a run scored. And Brett Wiley 2 for 5 with a run scored and an RBI. Give it to Vladimir Frias as well. Although he went 0 for 2, he did pick up a run and an RBI. Evan DeLuca came in relief of Josh Hodges. Hodges went 7 1/3, giving up 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned, while walking 4 and striking out 5. DeLuca's 2/3 of an inning was only 1 hit. Mark Haynes then came in and shut the door, pitching 2 innings, 2 scoreless innings, and 2 hitless innings, while walking 2 and striking out 3. Brian Asania also had a fantastic start for the Explorers, going 7 innings, allowing 4 hits, 1 run, it was earned, while walking 2 and striking out 5. B.J. Franciscan then came in and pitched magnificently, striking out 2 of the 3 batters he faced in his 1 inning of work. Connor Overton then came in and struggled. 1 inning, 3 hits, 5 runs, only 4 were earned, while walking no one and striking 1 out. James Walsh came in then in the 10th and pitched an inning with 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Kansas City, again, 30-41 on the season. Sioux City back to 500, 36 and 36. Mark Haynes picking up the win, making him 2-1. Connor Overton now 5-1. Be back here tomorrow at 2 p.m. here on the T-Bones Broadcast Network after this stellar extra innings victory for the T-Bones. Gonna have to go ahead and sign off and go enjoy the rest of my birthday. This is Sam King signing off, telling you to stay safe out there, and a very sincere thank you for listening.
This game on the T-Bones Broadcast Network was brought to you by Community America Credit Union, Austin's Trailers and Motorsports, Funweiser, Coca-Cola, Price Chopper, Providence Medical Center, the Kansas Lottery, FlyKCI.com, Roma Bakery, Sheet Metal Local Number 2, and Kissick Construction. Tune in online all season to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Click on the Watch Live or Listen Live buttons at tbonesbaseball.com. T-Bones Baseball, that's fun. Well done.